Today we'll be giving a gameplay overview and review of the game Bohemian Villages, created by Rainer Stockhausen and published by DLP Games. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with To Die For Games. I'm Mandy, the board gaming pinup girl. My fellow hosts are
Tracy, the gaming maven.
And I'm Steph, the games teacher. We would love to hear what you thought or what you want to see next. So please feel free to leave a comment below. If you don't want to miss out on our next episode, click on the subscribe button and you'll be one of the first to know when our newest video is up.
Are you looking for a very specific part of the video? Maybe the gameplay? Maybe the review? Well, we've attached timestamps below so that you can check out that segment that you love the most.
Bohemian Villages plays in about 30 minutes, is suggested for ages 8 and up, and accommodates 2 to 5 players.
We've got Bohemian Villages all set up and ready to go, so let's get to it. Objective. By inhabiting the buildings of the various villagers, players can earn coins which equal points. The player with the most coins at the end of the game wins. So Stephane, tell us what's inside the box.
Components. 9 double-sided Bohemian Village tiles, 4 dice, they're wooden dice, 65 wooden figures, 13 in each color, various coin tokens, a bishop tile, 7 glass tiles, 8 inn tiles, 7 special action tiles, 6 flower tiles, 5 overview cards, and the ever-popular rulebook. All right, now that we know what we're playing with, how do we set it up? Mandy?
Setup. Place a number of village tiles depending on the number of players, with the random side facing up. Players take the wooden figures in their color. Players will have a certain number of figures to use based on number of players. Place an equal number of glass, inn, and flower tiles equal to the number of those buildings on the tiles. Place special action tiles, coins, and dice in easy reach of all players. Now that we're all set up, how do we play? Tracy?
Gameplay. Players, on their turn, will check if any of their buildings will pay out coin before rolling the dice. However, if they forget to do so, the coins are forfeited. Players can receive coin during the game for certain buildings. 1 coin for any active inns. If 3 or other buildings are in that village are occupied, farms will give 1 point when they are occupied, plus 1 coin for each previously occupied farm. Churches will score 1 coin each if the player has the bishop token. Manors score coins equal to the amount of them when occupied. On their turn, a player rolls the dice, and then they make 1 or 2 totals with the dice. Note that players can create 1 total with 2, 3, or 4 dice, and 2 totals with 2 dice each. A single die cannot be used. Then they will place a figure or figures on the buildings with the numbers matching the totals. Each building can be occupied by a single figure. If there are no unoccupied buildings matching the dice total, the player may be able to kick out an opponent's figure from one of the matching numbered buildings, returning the opponent's figure to their supply. Important. Inns, farms, town halls, and churches can be taken over this way. Occupied manors cannot be taken over this way. Flour mills and glass factories cannot be taken over due to the intermediate scoring. Shops such as bakeries, dairies, tailor shops, and butcheries can be taken over if the active player doesn't already occupy a building of that type. Players can also use on the dice total to take a special action tile, which can be used later to reroll any number of dice on a future turn. Once the special action tile is used, they are taken out of the game. The doubles allow a player to take the bishop token. So what happens at intermediate scoring? Stephane?
Intermediate scoring. When a player occupies a flour mill or glass factory, they take a flour or glass token respectively. When the pile of glass or flour tokens are exhausted, an intermediate scoring happens. Each flour tile is worth 2 points, and each glass tile is worth 3 points. Players then take back their figures on those buildings and return the tokens to the general supply. So how does the game end? Mandi?
Game end. Some buildings score coin during the game, while others score only at the end of the game. Players will score for the shops, 1 coin for 1, 5 for 2, 12 for 3, and 20 for 4 buildings. These must be a set of different shops. Town Hall score the points on the building at the end of the game. This will occur only if all buildings in the village are occupied. If a player does not occupy a town hall, they lose 5 points. The player with the most occupied churches receives 10 coins, second most receives 6. Players count up all coins collected throughout the game and game end. The player with the most points wins the game. So that is how you play Bohemian Villages. Now we're ready to give a review of Bohemian Villages. So guys, what'd you think?
I love the theme because of the medieval feel. I always love medieval feel. You got me at that. And I like the modular board. So modular boards always get me. So it's good.
I really like the artwork and the gameplay.
That's okay. I'm gonna jump in because I'm usually really chatty. So let me give my opinion while Stephane comes to his. I like this game. Are we surprised? Okay, I liked it. I saw 30 minutes and I kind of went, oh, is it gonna be one of these? Like it's over and you're like, oh my gosh, what happened to the rest of the game? But I actually really liked it. And 30, I would say it's a bit longer than that, but 30 minutes was accurate.
That was a combination of us learning it, and
Right.
we had a full complement of people playing it. But yeah, we were also a little chatty that night.
That's true.
We tended to chat that evening. We were a little distracted.
Did we play 5 players or 6?
We played the max, I thought.
Yeah, we played 5.
Yeah, I think we played the max.
Okay.
So what'd you think?
I really enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot not in the mechanics so much, but thematically of Village and My Village, which I love both of those games. So I guess if the game has Village in the title, Steph's gonna like it.
Yeah, easy enough. I totally get that. So now on to, well, you touched on this a bit, artwork and theme. So for myself, again, it falls into exactly what we were saying with Village, same type of art. I really liked it. I mean, it fit the theme of the game. So you had churches, you had a village, you had shops. I mean, it all works.
Mm-hmm. I found it was a little bit softer in its colors
Right.
and look, more so than some of the other games that are like that, like Agricola and Village, which are a lot brighter. This one was a little softer, which didn't detract from the game, I found. But it was good.
I did really like the theme. I thought it was well done.
Yeah, it was very, very good. So overall, we thought the artwork was good. Now, I'm going to say this. It was driving me crazy. On the box, the guy's sideburn reminds me of McCain's crinkle fry. Sorry, if you're Canadian, you will totally know what I'm talking about.
I totally know what you mean.
I hadn't noticed that, but I'll look for it next time I look at the box.
So that made me enjoy it that much more. Thanks for that.
Nice.
So on to quality of components. Overall, I mean, a lot of the board, I think it was like a thick cardboard. Was that
Very
what it
thick,
was made
all
out
thick
of?
cardstock.
Lots of wood, the little meeples and whatnot. Trying to think what else was in there. We had some dice. It's like those small world dice. Oh, they never roll.
You don't like
over.
wooden dice.
No.
There's only 4 of them.
Make them
so.
plastic dice. Stop producing wooden dice. We don't like them.
I guess it goes with the theme though. The whole,
It does.
Maybe medieval villages, they didn't have plastic back
Exactly.
then. Yeah,
See, so it ties in.
I guess that makes sense.
I like the double-sided game boards.
Yeah.
The double-sided game boards, which means you randomly choose which side of each board you're going to use.
Yep.
And
For the village tiles.
so it makes it quite
Yeah.
different and a lot more replayable that way.
Yeah, which is good. And I mean, it's nice to have choice. Nothing is worse than having a game played over and over again. Okay, I'm bored. This week can switch it up, Was one side easier or was it just different? I don't remember.
I believe they're just different. Some of
different.
them have different, like you'll have less glass buildings, for
Right.
example.
Oh, that's right.
glass
And then
factories
depending on
and
slate
stuff.
up. Yeah, okay, no,
Yeah.
you're right. That's right. So, game mechanic.
I really liked the ability to knock people out of position. So
Yeah.
displace people from their areas, but only under certain circumstances and for certain types of buildings. So for me, that was an interesting way to mess with the other players, whenever the opportunity presented itself.
Yeah.
I found that there's different types of buildings, and some would score during the game, some score at
Right.
an intermediate scoring, and some score at the end of the game. So you have to plan ahead for all those different types of scoring, because if you're only waiting till the end,
Right.
you're not going to get enough points. So I like that you could gain points throughout the game different ways.
Yeah. And for me, that was hard. I'm not a planner per se. I kind of play in the heat of the moment. So let's do this. Can't do that with this game. So it kind of forced my brain to work a little bit. So touching on, I agree exactly with what they were saying. I liked it. It just made my brain work a little bit more for a game that was considered lighter.
Mandy, what strategy did you use in this game with village in the title?
So if you guys watch the Village video, My Village, you'll know it was all about the churches.
And how well did you do in this game with your church strategy?
Did I win?
I think you did.
I believe you did.
I
did.
did win. Wow, I gotta start writing down these victories because I keep forgetting. Churches all the way. So yeah, oh, thanks for the reminder on that. And similar games.
Well, you touched on My Village, obviously, with the feel, but also Grand Austria Hotel, because
Yeah.
you're using dice in a similar mechanic. There's a lot less dice in this than that
Right.
game. However, you're still using them in a similar way.
Take actions, yeah.
Yeah.
I found the downtime was not as long though. Like in Grand Austria, I find the downtime is very long
That's
in between
true.
turns.
It can be.
I don't know.
Mind you, we're very chatty, so maybe we're
Yeah,
just forgetting
so I
about the
couldn't
downtime.
really exactly gauge it, but I didn't find it in the game that we're playing. Games that we're playing, I didn't find it to be very long, but maybe that was just me.
Depends on the players, yeah. Without the simultaneous actions,
Right.
there's a risk there if someone is taking their time, making their decisions, as sometimes happens on occasion.
We all do it.
That other players have to sit around and wait for that player. So yeah, we've got to watch for that.
So overall, it's really good. Oh, I almost forgot. I love and hate, and well, either way, it's a good thing. Any building that gives you, provides revenue for you, if you do not take that before you roll your die, bye-bye, you don't get your revenue. So that really keeps people on the ball and paying attention. Otherwise, you lose money. You just don't get it. So I don't know, I forgot a couple times, but I was just learning. But I thought that was kind of interesting that they put that specifically in the rules.
I think we all forgot a couple of times. And they do mention that in more than one place in the rule book.
Yeah.
To be sure to drive that point home. Right?
Make sure you don't forget.
Take your money or you don't get it.
And no one is going to remind you, so you
No.
might want to, make note of that. So overall, I enjoyed this game. I actually might even consider playing it, bringing it to work. I actually think it could fit in our lunch hour. And if we have, I probably wouldn't do it with a huge group, maybe just a few of my colleagues. I think it would work really nicely. So overall,
Once
I
everyone's
enjoyed it.
learned the mechanics, it
Yeah.
can definitely play within an hour for sure.
Exactly. So for me, it was a good game. Definitely, it was something that I would recommend that you pick up. Anyways, thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.